Hey guys, I'm making this video as a response to a recent video I came across called Rufino vs. Carlos Gracie. It was disgusting to say the least, seriously. To see people actually purposely trying to ruin the legacy of the Gracie family by inventing lie after lie. I had to make this video as a response and that people can actually see the truth and what happened, because it's not fair to the BJJ community and people who come from the Helios lineage like myself, who have been in the sport since 1995, and I actually have an insight of these things. Okay, so I'm going to be presenting you with sources and disproving everything here. All these claims, they are actually not true or inaccurate in many cases. First, the so-called 3-on-1 attack that actually never happened, it's a complete lie, and I can prove it to you citing Helio Gracie himself. He talked about this and was actually there. He explained in an interview how Rufino was actually talking bullshit about Gracie. And as you know, in Brazil, everyone knew and respected the Gracies. So Helio paid him a little visit and beat the brakes out of him. But one-on-one, Helio broke his skull, literally 2 head fractures, dislocation, the whole thing, because Rufino was disrespectful and talking trash and not willing to put his money where his mouth was. So Helio straightened this punk, and that's what actually happened. You can go read this for yourself. Helio even regretted it. He said that he wouldn't do something like this anymore. Now, for all the people believing the newspapers, you cannot trust the media. You know that now, and you knew that then. The official story is often what the elites want you to believe. I read this in the Sherdock forums. There is this guy who explained in detail how Rufino was actually having connexion with the media at a very high level. And they, of course, twisted the story of Helio beating him up, accusing him of assault. Next is the actual fight. This guy says Carlos behaved in an unsportsmanship manner. That's actually not true. What actually happened is they fell out of the mat, and in that moment the referee stopped them, of course, and Rufino was distracted. You know you always have to protect yourself at all times. It's the first thing they explained to you, and Carlos was confused whether they were being told to continue or to stop, and his brothers was yelling at him like, go, go, go. So he went. He didn't do this on purpose. He took the chance and put Rufino in a guillotine. Rufino was not protecting himself because the fool was like, we are on timeout. The referee just stopped us. But a fight is a fight and you have to be aware. So Carlos put him in a choke and the referee jumps in and grabs Carlos, telling him to stop. And Carlos, of course, was like, I won, I won. Put yourself in Carlos' shoes in that moment. You have been struggling until that moment because you can't catch this fool. And you finally find your opportunity, you go for it. You lock that guillotine so easily it's not even funny. And then the referee jumps in and stops you. Anyone in that situation would have thought, I won. So the referee was insisting to put them in the center to continue, and Carlos was like, are you kidding me? I just won by stoppage. That's why Carlos didn't want to go again, but even then, he was a warrior. He acknowledged that he misunderstood the situation and went back into the fight, but then something else happened. So he was like, this is bullshit, and left again. That's what those 2 times he left was all about. That's the reason he got disqualified. So this was not a victory for Rufino like the video wants you to believe. It was actually a no contest. This was even mentioned in a book written by the daughter of Carlos Gracie. Look it up. Carlos got disqualified and it was a no contest, not a loss. And later they say Rufino donated the win bonus money to a church. Come on. That alone is a red flag. Okay, moving on. Next slide they tell in the video is that Gracie was sentenced to prison. That's technically not true because even though they did receive the sentence of 2 years, they got pardoned by the president. If the president himself comes and pardons you, that's gotta mean something about their innocence. So they got sentenced but ended up not doing much time or very little. The next slide they say in the video is that it was a metal tool. It was actually a metal box. A box is not a tool unless you use it to hit someone with it. But in this case, it was not a tool, it was just a box. The last lie I found in this video was that Maeda was not their real teacher and that they learned from this other dude that was also lynched. I don't even have to explain this to you, it's ridiculous. And they even say that they were going to make a video about that. So more fake news? Okay guys, I hope this video clears any doubts, lies, accusation. If you liked it, please like and subscribe.